Our protagonist's name is Sherlock, who is a young high-ranking demon. Sherlock is the owner of this dungeon. Dungeons is the most mysterious existence in the underworld that are full of unknowns, darkness, fear, and death. In this world, for the demon to be titled a demon lord, they must build the top dungeons and form an army of demon forces. Only then they are called the ultimate demon lord. Sherlock was born as a high-ranking demon but was born in a slum. Since childhood he had to suffer from bullies and cold eyes. This made him more eager to have the wealth and glory of the ultimate demon lord. After struggling for hundreds of years, he finally bought the first dungeon and aims to surpass the other demons. The reason why Sherlock decided to buy this abandoned dungeon is because this is the only one he can afford, the cheapest dungeon in the entire underworld. To start a dungeon, he needs to input magic in the core and cover a personal private seal. A servant saber is born, and Sherlock is shocked to see that core can talk. Sherlock couldn't find any such paragraph in the book. He is confused if he bought a fake core. Sherlock decides to return it to the sales lady as cheap products are not good. The core, also called Blue, tries to stop him from returning and explains to him there is nothing wrong with him. Being furious with his master returning him, he said to not return him as he won't be able to sell again for 10,000 years, the future Great Demon Lord. Sherlock stopped when Blue called him the Great Demon Lord, thinking how it can have such a correct perception as Sherlock has never seen a talking dungeon core before. After deciding to keep the Blue, Sherlock presents him the idea of building kitchens, interrogation room, torture room, library, luxurious bedroom, etc. as expected from the future Great Demon Lord. The Blue agreed in assisting his master to become the greatest demon lord ever. In this world, there are different levels of dungeons that can summon different dungeon monsters by inputting magic power through the core. Also, the method of upgrading dungeons is simple: buy the core or seize the core of other dungeons and get your dungeon core to devour other cores. Sherlock Dungeon is currently the lowest level dungeon that can only summon goblins. Sherlock is excited to summon his first dungeon laborers when the Blue stops him. Blue says that recruiting goblins required Sherlock to pay them 5 magic stones every month. So instead of that, what if they sign a contract with another world goblin which does not require salary but will work hard and give you the money? The another world goblin the Blue is referring to is the planet Earth. Sherlock is surprised that someone will work hard and give them money. Sherlock decides to try it and ask what he should do to summon goblins from another world. The Blue tells him to transfer the magic to him. They need to build a server first which will act as a portal between the two worlds. Blue asks Sherlock if he have confidence as the process will last for a week and will require a lot of magic power support. Sherlock proudly declares he is a noble high-ranking demon and he have enough magic. He then transfers his powers to Dungeon Core and Blue starts to work in building server. A week later, the portal between the two worlds has been successfully built. Blue informs Sherlock that goblins from another world may do strange things like giving themselves weird names, ganging up on people, and they like to trade items with each other. In short, act childish. Due to the difference in culture, it is not easy to manage them. The most effective way to manage them is through the official website. As long as Sherlock does not have to pay the goblins, he has no problem with their weird hobbies. It is time to give the dungeon a loud name. The first virtual reality online game, Dungeon, Eternal Kingdom. In Earth, people are excited for reservation of first beta test players of first virtual reality online game. Sherlock has never heard of goblins. Queue up to apply. He asks Blue how many goblins there in another world are. Blue replies more than 800 million players, but judging from the current scale of the Eternal Kingdom, they will only be able to select 100 people. After Sherlock has finished the selection process, it is time to summon goblins. The signal has been sent to 100 lucky players who are qualified for the first test. Before welcoming the first test players, Sherlock goes to buy a pickaxe. Sherlock has bought 1,000 magic stones and that's all he has. He really does live a simple life. Sherlock explains to shopkeeper that he is here to buy 3 things: buy an iron or pickaxe, buy a cheap iron or pickaxe, and buy 100 times cheap iron or pickaxes. The shopkeeper shocks Sherlock when he says he will deliver them to home for free and total cost of product will be 1,000 magic stones, which is all Sherlock have. The shopkeeper guessed Sherlock to be a demon lord and he is here to buy pickaxe, so he gave him a more suitable package of buying a blacksmith shop plus 20 mining picks for 800 magic stones. Having a blacksmith in dungeon can also be used as equipments and sold to players from different worlds. Sherlock is amazed to find from Blue, they can sell equipments to goblins. If they have money, they will buy it directly, and if they have no money, they will work hard to do the task. This is a feature of the different world. Any item in dungeon can be distributed in these ways. Sherlock makes a deal and buys goblin food with the remaining 200 magic stones. After returning to the dungeon, Blue says they need to post a novice mission. It will guide players to understand the operation method and gain background. Even though players do not need monthly salary, they will need some clear tasks to gain experience and upgrade. Sherlock says the dungeon has just started and supplies are in short. He won't be able to reward them with magic stones, then he must be the last demon lord to go bankrupt before it even started. Blue suggests using a gold coin as a common currency in dungeon and use it to reward the player. The recruit blacksmith Simba has arrived at the dungeon. Sherlock welcomes him as the first subordinate of the Great Dungeon. Sherlock shows him the place he will be working from now on. Sherlock, completed with all his preparation, decides that it is time to call the players from another world. Sherlock is stunned when none of the players have arrived. Blue explains that they are setting up their clothes, pendants, they pay attention to some minor things. A player goblin has appeared. The player is amazed to see a tall NPC Sherlock. The technology has advanced so much that it even has pain sensors. Everyone thought that virtual reality online games were fake, but it was real. Sherlock is happy to see the summoning work. Sherlock finds the behavior of goblins very strange, but they are agile when they work. Blue informs Sherlock they have successfully stated the first test and it is very necessary for them to improve game content and add information on the official website of the dungeon. It is necessary to update and create more ways to play for goblins to maintain this kind of efficiency. Sherlock is worried to open up more areas for these goblins to use as playgrounds due to lack of magic stones, but Blue informs they need adventure as an entertainment. Goblins prefer to go out and explore in the unknown world. The more brutal the battle is, the more joyful it will be for them. Not even death can stop their pursuit of excitement. Blue suggests giving them generous rewards such as equipment after defeating powerful enemies. Sherlock went to the spider nest as it is very suitable for a playground as source of monsters here is also relatively stable. As long as there is only one spider queen that lays eggs, hundreds of bottom spiders can be produced in minutes. In addition to these, spiders also like to dig holes, which creates a labyrinth. Blue informs Sherlock that there is a death of player. Sherlock is worried if there is some kind of alien invasion. Blue informs that player has committed suicide by pushing the wall. Sherlock is confused if the tasks assigned to them were too heavy, and Blue is excited to see how to resurrect after death. After all, it is the first time Blue has come to this world. Goblins players are amazed to see the NPC interaction in this game, as death can even alarm the Lord himself. Blue informs Sherlock that Blue used some tricks to summon them. Sherlock only need to repair their bodies, and then put their consciousness back in to revive them. If the body is completely shattered, they can send their consciousness back to call again. Sherlock starts to check the manual, thinking if this is a new function in the core of dungeon, while Blue smilingly reply this is his unique function which can combine magic and technology together. Sherlock revives the goblin Kuruko back to life, and every play is amazed with the game mechanism. They believe that if Lord himself is required to revive the player. Every player decides to try the revive mechanism by committing suicide. Sherlock is furious and orders them to not die for no reason. He orders them to hurry and go to work, otherwise all rewards will be halved. Later, Sherlock is curious to find out how these guys or players from the other world evaluate him. Sherlock finds the news posted by one of the first test player. Thanks for tuning in to this video. If you enjoyed the content and want to be notified when the next part comes out, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't miss out on the upcoming videos in this series.